I can smell elections in the air. And it's only going to take a couple of days when the elections to Telangana is going to be announced. How do you know it? You know it exactly the way when any festival is approaching you. That's how you know it. There is something in the air. There is something in the smell. Similarly, you know the elections are really hurtling very close to you when you know by the rhetoric that you hear day in and day out. Yes, I'm going to be talking about Telangana, that's our focus, and what can be termed as kick-starting the election fervor in the state on 3rd of October in Nizamabad. Even as Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced projects worth 8,000 crores in health, railways and power sectors, he revealed what he called a secret and said that Bharat Rashtra Samiti or BRS chief and Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao, also known as KCR, had sought to join the NDA after the BJP's impressive performance in the December 2020 Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation or GHMC elections. Like I said, rhetoric being the favorite flavor of the season. After what Narendra Modi spoke, prompt came the salvo from the other side, and KTR, working president of the BRS, rejected Modi's claims and instead said how Telangana BJP unit president K. Lakshman had allegedly approached BRS, then it was TRS in 2018 to form an alliance, which he rejected. Meanwhile, BJP National President JP Nadda addressed the inaugural session of BJP State Council meeting in Mechil in Telangana. All those aggressive speeches, attacks and counter-attacks, like I said, rhetoric. The narrative is about elections which is approaching. According to several observers, although Telangana is technically a three-way contest between BRS, Congress and the BJP, the ground reality, many say that it may be reduced to a contest between just the BRS and the Congress. Reason, of course, is for the Congress's resurgence is their win in Karnataka. The BJP, which did have a very impressive performance in GHMC, Dubaka and Huzurabad, is now struggling more than ever, and the reason is the continuous rebellions and strife within the party, and that's what we are discussing today, the storm in the BJP's cup in Telangana. Since the time when Bandi Sanjay was removed as party president and G. Kishan Reddy was brought in his place, there have been two camps in the Telangana BJP engaged in a turf war. However, there was always a turf war between Itala and Bandi. Let's not forget. Bandi Sanjay, of course, was removed too close to elections, and there was severe heartburn, and it became evident not only by what he said or did, but also after his removal. Several senior leaders like Vijay Shanti expressed her dismay openly, and the Nalgonda unit president actually tenders his resignation. Such was the fan following for Bandi Sanjay, and it still exists. G. Kishan Reddy had a very tough time gathering his flock, and they are now seen to be the outsiders, say many observers. But the central leadership trusts Reddy for him to inject a newfound enthusiasm amongst the cadre and be more acceptable to all the people, meaning the Hindutva rhetoric to be muted by Reddy is what they expect of the new entrant. Also, there is constant rumors about influential leaders like Komti Reddy, Rajagopal Reddy being unhappy with the BJP, which has added fuel to the ongoing strife in Telangana BJP. Particularly in this case, we've seen whether he's coming or going, no one knows. Now he's taken to the social media to make it clear that he may stay. Now enter BL Santosh, who has now been given the task of cracking the whip. But then the question is, after his so-called weak attempts in Karnataka, where the party lost out because of some major blunders, can Santosh stem the tide of rebellions? So let's start the debate, the storm in the BJP cup, and whether BL Santosh can crack the whip, because he's made it very clear. Shape up, stop whining, or just quit the party. Abhishek Jagini, great to see you after a long time. Abhishek, time for elections at a time when a party like yours, which is known to be cadre based, which is supposed to be super disciplined, which is supposed to be much ahead of other parties so far as managing booths are concerned, managing cadre is concerned, managing tickets are concerned, seem to be struggling majorly today for Mr. B.L. Santosh to come out in the open and crack the whip. Abhishek Jagini, what would you say?
Like you actually said, this is reinstating our ideological and organizational culture. For it is like a revision and reminder for the old people, and once again learning for the newcomers or who have joined recently. Sometimes until some message doesn't come from the top, there may be a gap in people understanding of people's understanding or the leaders' understanding of the organizational tone. When state leadership or the top leaders of the state sometimes share it with their colleagues, they may perceive it as their own opinion or their own guidelines. But when it comes really from the top, that is the core of the organization. Sri B.L. Santosh is our organization secretary. So that is where the ideology and the core thinking of the
right. So I really appreciate how you started this conversation, Abhishek. So you do accept on my show that there is a storm brewing in the teacup? Because if there is no storm, then there would be no correction revision. The word you used was revision. So you have to kind of dwell into revision because there is a need for it. Yes?
Adi Shankaracharya says, Punaha Punaha. Though we know, we need to keep reminding ourselves of that.
Adi Shankara also said neti neti, so the thing is, let's not get into philosophy. Let's just stick to what the ground reality is, sir. And I would really, I would like, the thing is, there is some kind of course correction which is required.
One or two people maybe disgruntled. That is always there. I have been a member of the party for over a decade, and I have seen disgruntled people in tenure of every president.
Yeah, I'll come to you. I mean, sometimes, you are on the defensive, but I appreciate what you're saying. I mean, after all, it's great that there is some spokesperson who speak the truth. Sai Shekhar, every party, like Abhishek said, has problems. We've heard how in BRS also, although it had the first movers advantage of announcing tickets, much ahead of both, the Congress and the BJP, who are still mulling over, I do not know what. But your party, the BRS did it and did it very, very well. But still there was disgruntlement, still there was disappointment, still there was threatening, that I will leave the party, etc., etc. But as a political journalist, don't you think that I've never seen, I've never seen so much of open rebellion that there is now manifesting in Telangana BJP side? Would you accept that? Would you say that yes, or would you say that it's normal?
It's true. The problem with the BJP here in Telangana is that they, as you rightly pointed out earlier, it's been a cadre-based party, and they did not have the cadres who are competent enough to contest an election and fight the ruling BRS and also the Congress. And the Congress, as you rightly pointed out, has risen from the ashes, and they are actually, giving run for the money for both the other contestants in Telangana. And but the Congress and the BJP suffer from two things. One is Congress is known for encouraging this Ayaram Gayaram culture, and it is admitting a lot of people into the party right now in the last minute.
Right.
And BRS is not doing that in that sense, and BRS has already declared its candidates. And the existing MLAs, most of them have been renominated, and that there is a resentment against their candidacy in at least 20-25 constituencies is known to the party leadership also, but then they have taken measures to contain that and make the intra-party rebellion to contain the intra-party rebellion. And when it comes to the BJP, the problem is with the imported leaders. For example, the sitting MLA, Mr. Raghunandan Rao,
yes,
was for a long time he lived in TRS, under Chandrasekhar Rao. And he entered the fray in Dubbaka Assembly constituency, being a local and influential erstwhile BRS leader. He was able to mobilize support, and TRS also committed some mistakes in fielding a candidate in Dubbaka by-election, and they have paid price for it with a slender difference. And Itala Rajendra was smoked out of the party by the Chief Minister himself, and the differences between both the Chief Minister and the erstwhile Finance Minister, Mr. Rajendra, were very all too well known, but why there were differences between both of them was not very clearly known. Even Rajendra could not make it very clear to anyone. And Rajendra won the Huzurabad by-election because of his personal clout. And BJP in 2018 has won only one seat in Telangana.
Right.
That is from Goshamal constituency. One Mr.
Raja Singh, yes. Yeah, which is a big question mark.
And he's a ferocious Hindutva face.
Yeah.
But then Raja Singh was expelled from, suspended from the BJP post communal tensions in the old city of Hyderabad, and his remarks, and the party has taken a serious view of it, and Raja Singh's suspension has not been revoked as yet.
All right.
And BJP is still grappling with finding candidates, and they had three faces who are originally BJP. That is Arvind Dharmapuri from Nizamabad Lok Sabha seat. He won that seat in 2019. And Mr. G. Kishan Reddy, who is currently the president of the party here in Telangana, and wait, and also the Union Tourism Minister. And the third one is Mr. Bandi Sanjay Kumar, who's grown from the RSS cadres.
Right.
And he hit a jackpot, though he was a corporator in Karimnagar earlier. He hit a jackpot by winning the Karimnagar Lok Sabha seat.
Right.
And he's a rabble-rouser. And he's a rabble-rouser, and to the extent of possible, he could mobilize the party, but then that wasn't enough.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll come to, the thing is that we are discussing about the storm, and you said that yes, indeed it is true, and you also, highlighted certain problems which have been there. Itala is a very major character in this entire game, which is being played. Mr. Prasad, I want to ask you that, seldom, and I'm going back to what is happening within the Telangana BJP, a cadre-based party. When Bandi Sanjay was there, this is what observers say, and my sources tell me that, there was a kind of a discipline. It was almost bordering on hero worship, because what Bandi Sanjay did for the party, we are not talking about how he did it. I'm not going to go into that. That's a separate conversation, and I may not agree with the ways and means that he had employed. But he did give the party some arms and legs. But apparently, the enter Mr. Itala Rajendra, and it became a kind of a tug of war, which is still continuing with Mr. G. Kishan Reddy being there. So it is more of a turf war than any ideological war, although they are also saying it's more ideological because they do not want to really go to the hard line Hindutva thing which Bandi Sanjay was actually propelling. What would you say to that, Mr. Prasad?
Good evening, ma'am, and good evening to the panelists and good evening to the viewers. Ma'am, it's very clear and evident that the BC card, as far as Mr. Bandi Sanjay's replacement, what Mr. Itala was anticipated is a BC versus BC. And more vote bank in Telangana is aligned with BC. So obviously he's going to get the presidentship and all. And once Kishan Reddy has taken over it, it's a failure part as far as the growing of BJP is concerned in Telangana. So again, the failure has been adopted, and by the time Dubbaka and Itala Rajendra has won the battle, after that, Kishan Reddy is, being a president, there is no further steps as far as the BJP growth is concerned. So that's why the moments of original BJP with Kishan Reddy and all, it has not been digested by Itala. And Itala tasked to get so many people from the BRS party and all. And BRS has taken a step to announce almost 115 candidates in one go.
Yeah.
So then there is joinings from various parties like Congress, and the Pongulet Srinivas Reddy's attempt is also failure. Khammam, there is anticipated a lot of joinings, and these things are not happened. And BC cadre, as far as the alignment with Itala Rajendra, which was also not happened. So these ruckus has created a lot of groups. And apart from that, Vijayanti and this Komat Reddy group and all things are coming into the BJP side, and all of a sudden, even Santosh has given a different statement today that we're sticking to the original guns of BJP, whether whoever wants to stay, they can stay, and otherwise they can get lost.